All right, we're talking about setting up on certain spots trying to figure out the best way to set up on a spot. That's hard to say, because you can have one certain little spot that you're fishing, say a brush pile or a point. A lot of times there will be a sweet spot that you figure out to set your boat where the angle is right to catch them. Now, sometimes that angle changes, depending on if you've got wind blowing from one direction, or if they're pulling water at the dam, or something like that. It varies, but the only way to really figure out the angle, position, to set up on a spot and get the most out of it is to fish it from every angle you can. Those are the little deals, the little things that you learn about a spot over years of fishing a spot, or over several different fishing trips of fishing a spot. You might fish a spot from an angle every time you pull up to it and think, oh, I catch fish here. I pull up here and catch a fish or two. The next person might pull up and fish that thing from a different angle and sit there and catch 10 or 15 fish. So if you've got a spot that you think is some little something special, learn it inside out, up and down, everywhere you can make a cast and feel something different from every angle. You'll figure out the right angle to throw on it sooner or later. And it's not one of those you're going to figure it out in 10-minute deals either. It's going to take some time. Those are special little spots, I like to call them.
Right.
And when you figure them out, you've got something good.
Now, a lot of people, they get out on a spot and they want to pick up a bait, but they don't know if it'll mess them up. What do I need to throw? They don't know when to make a change or when to leave a spot. What's your opinion on that?
I do that at times. I'll have some of the offshore spots or something where you pull up and you say, man, I know I can probably catch a fish or two here on a crankbait, but I don't want to throw that crankbait first. And I usually don't. I'll throw a soft plastics or jig or something first, make a few casts in there, something real subtle, and catch till I can't catch no more, or don't catch. Then I'll pick up the crankbait. And I've got mixed emotions about throwing a crankbait on a spot like that. There's times you throw a crankbait in there and you stir it up, you kind of shut the fish off. There's times you can pull up there and they're not biting a soft plastic. You pick a crankbait up and fire it in there and catch 2 or 3 fish, get them fired up, and then you go right back to your soft plastic and catch them. So that's a deal you have to figure out on your own, and kind of from day to day it's different. No spot fish is the same every time. You might pull up to a spot today and throw a crankbait in there and not get a bite, and throw a soft plastic or jig and not get a bite, and you say, well, I screwed them up throwing the crankbait in there. And you might have, but you don't know. There's no way to know that for sure. So I usually pull up, I'll throw my soft plastics or a jig first, then fire a crankbait.
All right, we're videoing.
Well, we got one on the little yellow thing. Collins yellow.
Talk a little bit about what you did there, Mr. Albert.
Well, we got to working this thing. I've been just steady reeling it, and I wasn't doing anything much, so I just got to kind of pumping it along. I'm gonna try it again here. Been pumping it and letting it fall, and he actually hit it falling. Just changing up, just trying something different. Oh, I had another one hit it there then. And they didn't want it just steady moving, so I started pumping it a little bit there, and maybe we'll catch another one. Just change up, doing something a little different. Trying to figure out what they want, how they want it presented. But you know we ain't gonna catch another one immediately.
All right, guys, stay tuned. All right, guys, everybody knows Albert works with 6 Cents. And he's actually came out with a couple of his own signature colors. I'm going to get him to talk about a little bit. So, Albert, go ahead.
All right. First one I did was what Casey's calling Collins Crawl. And it's a black, got some white stripes on it, a little blue and purple tint to it. And when I first said something to Casey about painting this bait, he thought I was crazy. He said, man, are you serious? I said, yeah, I'm serious. He said, well, why do you say that? I said, well, because I've been painting them with black magic markers or black marks-a-lots for a long time and catch fish on them, but, you know, it was one of those deals that he needed something else to put out. And I was like, okay, I'll share this with you. You know, it's one of those, I had some people mad at me for having that color done. But you go back to basics on color, and everybody says, oh man, why black? Why black? I've caught fish, black worms, black spinner baits, black top waters, black buzz baits, you name it, black is a staple color. You know, and people just weren't thinking about a lipless crankbait being black. But once I showed Casey what mine looked like after fishing with it for a little while, the beat up and scarred up it was, he's like, man, maybe we need to do that. I said, yeah. 2 years of telling you this, yeah, we need to do it. So he finally made them, and it's on my rod all the time. I mean, I throw the black one year round, clear water, sunny conditions, dirty water, it don't matter. Hydrilla, no hydrilla, I throw it, and I catch fish on it everywhere I go, all the time. We did another one, and people are gonna think, oh man, yeah, that's a weird color, but it's basically yellow, and he's put the little red stripes in there. And my idea for this is something a little different than chartreuse. Everybody throws chartreuse. I've thrown yellow for a long time. I mean, growing up, even as a kid, you know, you pick up a spinner bait or a beetle spin. What colors was it? Most time it was yellow and black. You know, and after years of fishing with different colors and experimenting around, I have come to find that yellow is a color that I think a bass, I don't think they like it. I think it's a color they actually hate. You know, really, seriously. I mean, I've had bedding fish before that I'll be trying to catch, and you're flipping a tube, and you're flipping this, and you're flipping that, and put something yellow in there, and they eat it. So it's been over a number of years of me playing with yellow baits that I finally told Casey, I said, look, we need to do something in yellow. And it's kind of most of the time when they hit it, it's a little bit different hit. It's a lot more aggressive a lot of times when you can get them on the yellow. And I'm not saying yellow's going to work everywhere all the time. The black works pretty much everywhere all the time, but there is times when they'll hit this yellow that they hit it harder and with more aggression than they do some of the other baits. I haven't really had it that long to say, okay, I'm going to be able to do it 24/7, cloudy, sunny, this, that. But I catch fish on it in most every condition I've fished so far. I'm still really learning with it, but it catches them, and it catches them good, and it catches big ones.